Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Brit tourist slashes girlfriend's neck with scalpel in front of their baby son moments after boarding Tenerife cruise. A British holidaymaker has been arrested in Tenerife after he allegedly slashed his girlfriend's neck with a scalpel during a sunset cruise. Thomas Gilpin, 22, paid £600 to take Eleanor Gilbert and their 6-month-old son on the private trip on a boat called No Worries. But just 5 minutes after setting sail, he placed his arm around her shoulders and without warning sliced her neck open with the razor-sharp blade, she told police. As blood poured down her front from the wound, which missed her jugular by millimeters, he is also suspected of then attacking the captain and the first mate with the blade. They wrestled him to the ground as they struggled to turn the boat around to head back to port. A shocking video shows the skipper repeatedly punching his attacker to subdue him as they yelled for help in Spanish. All 3 victims were rushed to the hospital, where Eleanor, 22, needed 33 stitches in the gaping 5-in wound. Gilpin, of Leeds, is in custody in Tenerife, where a judge is investigating the case as a domestic violence attack. He is being probed for subjecting Eleanor to controlling behavior in an abusive relationship and attempting to murder her. The warehouse worker is also accused of assaulting the captain, who is also stabbed in the neck, and the first mate. A family friend said, "The police consider this a premeditated attack. He took the scalpel knowing what he was going to do. He deliberately took Eleanor away from us with the intention of killing me. We count our lucky stars that she is still here." The attack happened during a holiday in Las Americas, with 15 of Eleanor's relatives, in what is an annual family tradition. The couple's 2-year relationship was rocky, with Eleanor telling friends how he would shout at her at times, and she feared he was isolating her from her friends. But she had no warning of what was about to happen when he arranged the trip for just her and their son, while the rest of the group stayed behind on shore. The plan was for them to sail around the island, eat tapas prepared by the crew, and then go for a swim before watching the sunset as they returned to port. Gilpin appeared calm and relaxed as he took a selfie at the rear of the 44-foot-long motor cruiser. But he then sat down next to her, and moments later Eleanor, of Leeds, felt a sharp pain across her neck and a wet sensation on her front. She was in such shock, she later told police that she thought, "A jellyfish had jumped from the water and wrapped itself around my neck." When she realized she was bleeding heavily from the deep wound, she grabbed one of her son's nappies and held it on her neck. She then heard the skipper yell, "I'm going to die," as he was also left covered in blood from a neck wound. Also fearing she might not make it, Eleanor made a desperate call to her family, asking them to come to the dock to get her son. Luckily, the boat was only a short distance out to sea, and the crew were able to turn around and quickly return to the harbor. Paramedics and police rushed on board to arrest Gilpin and treat the victims. The family friend added, "We are sure that, without the first mate's help, they would all be dead." Eleanor is convinced his aim was to kill everybody on board. She is a survivor, and she is not afraid to show her scar. She is thankful she got out of this alive and said she feels like she has just woken up from a 2-year coma. "We are grateful to have her back." Gilpin was remanded in jail by a judge at a hearing after the attack, which happened in December last year. He remains in custody while the judge continues the investigation. The case has been referred to a specialist court dealing with violence against women. A spokesman for the National Police in Tenerife said, "We handed the suspect over to the courts following his detention, and this is now a matter for the judiciary." Court officials said, "This case is being dealt with by the Court for Violence Against Women in Arona in southern Tenerife, which is where the initial investigating court referred it. The man who was arrested is being investigated for gender-based violence against his partner, as well as 2 counts of assault. The 2 crew recovered from their injuries and are back at work.